Hello everybody and welcome back to my first tier list video. Actually, it's my very first one. I've decided that it would be interesting to show you guys how powerful some of my characters are. And how weak they are, of course, depending on whether it's an S or a D. Let's find out. Alright, first off, we have the Good Tales doll. Now, beforehand the Good Tales doll was actually an angel, but then I decided to change him so that he contains two souls and he is now a multi-dimensional being. That's essentially what he is. So he can teleport in multiple dimensions, and he of course destroys evil itself with of course a giant white beam and all that kind of stuff. So let's say that he is quite powerful because he also had some morphing abilities and all that kind of stuff. And his powers are pretty much almost unbeatable. So let's put it on an S for this little guy here. Or should it be an, you know what, it should be an A. He's not like impossible to kill, you know. He has weaknesses and all that kind of stuff, so A. Alright, now we have Ben Denvers here. Now he is very interesting because he can ruin anything that's technological, like your computer, your phone, all that kind of stuff, and he can hunt anything he wants, even video games. So he is pretty powerful, and he can also use his powers as a virus to ruin your computer and spy on you and all kinds of disturbing stuff. And he can even possess people, so he goes in Fs for sure. Pretty dangerous. If you see him, you gotta run away and you gotta find a way to chase him. Now, we of course have Elizabeth here from my Dragon Wars series. Now, she is very knowledgeable and she has a lot of skills in fighting. And she only has 10 guards, but I don't think she really has that many powers except paralysis powers, I suppose. So let's just put her in B, because she doesn't really have that many powers and all that kind of stuff. So B it is. Now, we have Nolan here, which is actually the main character of the series of the Dragon Wars. And he's actually way more powerful because he can create northern stars from his hands and create large explosions to blow up his enemies and all that kind of stuff. And he was also born from a supernova, you know, so pretty strong character. Let me just select him at A at least. Alright, now over here we got the frozen dragons. Now you haven't heard of these yet, but they will appear in later chapters of the Dragon Wars. Now, every time they touch another dragon, they get turned into a frozen dragon themselves. Supposedly, it goes by very slowly and is very painful. Also, these guys can breathe out some ice fire towards their enemies to create walls and ice spikes and all that kind of stuff. So they're pretty powerful. I would say A. Pretty tricky. Alright, over here now we have a ghost dragon. They can become invisible and throw stuff at you when you least expect it. So they are pretty dangerous, alright? And pretty beautiful too. They are green and red. That's pretty interesting color scheme. But, is there really anything else they can do? Let me think about it. Not as far as I know though. Become invisible, throw things. They can also fly like the other dragons, I guess, so that kind of counts. But let's go with B for that one, I guess. Alright, now, over here, we got the Prince of the Void, or is it the King of the Void? It's one of these. He has appeared in the ARG series called The Abyss Reality. He was able to defeat that giant by beheading it, so he is indeed pretty powerful, and he has a double-edged sword and that kind of stuff, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna go with, I had to go with an S on that one. Alright, now over here, we got the Guardian Dragon right here. Now, they can obliterate their enemies with their fire, and of course, they resort to breaking bones and crushing their enemies and all that kind of stuff. They are pretty tall, they're like 30 feet, I think, or something like that. I'm going to go with A. They are not easy to take down, let's be honest here. Alright, now over here we got caillou.exe. Now you all know caillou.exe for sure. He is definitely powerful because he can lay down traps for people to fall to, and he can kill them kind of very easily. So he's kind of a messed up character and he's been there for years. But let's see, is he beatable? Yes, absolutely. The purple guy beat him multiple times. Or was it the purple man? One of these. I'm gonna go with A. I'm gonna go with A for caillou.exe. Now, okay, this is Stan here. Now, Stan is my evil version. He is way older than caillou.exe, and let's just say that he wants to create his own world that he could live in peace in, because his past life was pretty bad and pretty disturbing, so he wants to have a better life by replacing mine, I guess, or something like that. He is pretty powerful, right? Let's just say that if you gave him the power to do anything he wanted, he would definitely destroy this world and remake it or whatever. He's kind of like Blackie in a way, but way more powerful in my opinion. S. Kind of scared of that guy. Alright, and over here, we got the phone man from Freddy's Hotel. Now, okay, this one is the owner of a Florida Freddy's Hotel location, but he's just the boss. Like, as far as we know, he hasn't really fought the main character yet. So, for now, we don't know. But this version of the character is definitely getting a D, like the lowest tier at that point. Alright. And for the rest here, we got Shadow Bunny and another picture of caillou.exe that was cropped out. So I don't know if I'll use these for now. Also, Shadow Bunny is not really my character, so I think it counts. But here we go. Here's our tier list. Ben Denvers is at S. The King of the Abyss is also at S, and Stan is also at S. And over here we got the Good Tales though, which is at A, Novan at A, the Frozen Dragons at A, the Guards at A, and caillou.exe at A. Now at B we have Elizabeth and the Ghost Dragons. At C we have nothing, and at D we have the Phone Man. I am going to continue this later on for sure, so I'm going to save this and I'm going to upgrade it in another video. Thank you all for watching. Bye bye.